Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and the Supreme Court is about to rattle the Democrats' bell and change the way elections are done, maybe forever. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. There's battles raging all over the country over redistricting, and one of them is raging in Louisiana. And in Louisiana, the case is pretty particular because it involves drawing the lines for the congressional districts by race, right? So you have to give the black people one voting block here, maybe the Hispanics a voting block here, the white people a voting block here, and it's very segregated. Instead of just dividing it by, whatever other thing you choose to, usually it's by political party affiliation, and they try to draw lines that are beneficial. Whoever's in power tries to draw lines beneficial to their party. But because of the Voting Rights Act, you have to make sure that minorities have a certain section that's basically theirs, that's untouchable. But this Supreme Court believes, and I think correctly, that the Constitution should be colorblind, that race should never play a factor one way or the other. And they're willing, and possibly, because they've taken this case, they may be willing to gut a massive part of the Voting Rights Act. You're going to hear a lot of things, and the Voting Rights Act sounds so good, and you're like, why would you want to gut the Voting Rights Act? Because the Voting Rights Act is not so good. It was good at the time because, yes, black people in particular were kind of behind the eight ball when it comes to voting. They weren't given the same rights as other Americans, even if the law said they had to be. Certain racist counties and districts, they would find ways to keep black people from voting. It's the truth. It's a hard truth, but it's the truth. And when the Voting Rights Act came, it was important. But there are things right now, because of the Voting Rights Act, that give the Democrats a unique advantage. And that's unfair. We should all be judged by the content of our character, not the color of our skin. And that comes to voting too. Race should not play a role in how districts are divided. We're going to see if the Supreme Court agrees with it, but I want you to watch this tantrum on MSNBC, and then let me know what you think in the comments.
Like Governor Abbott and Donald Trump in court.
I appreciate you always have action items because I think people are always looking for that. Let me ask you something about something I'm sure you probably do not want to talk about, but if these maps are approved, it looks like you and Congressman Lloyd Doggett would be forced into the same district, meaning you would potentially have to run against each other unless one of you opted to run in another district, I guess, which is possible. But how are you thinking about that?
Look, if Donald Trump is able to merge my district in East Austin with Congressman Doggett's district in West Austin into one, then we've got way bigger concerns and people's futures to worry about than the future of Congressman Doggett or my future. We've got to be worried about the futures of millions of Americans who could be disenfranchised. I'm not trying to be alarmist here, but if Donald Trump succeeds in ending the protections of the Voting Rights Act for people of color here in Austin, then pretty soon he could succeed in ending those protections for people across America. My current district in East Austin that stretches then down southward is a Voting Rights Act protected district to give Latinos in this area voting power. That's part of what MLK marched for when he pushed for the 1965 Voting Rights Act. And what they're trying to do here in Austin as a test case is to try to get rid of that. And they wouldn't stop in Austin or in Texas. I hear that Donald Trump next wants to go to Missouri and then Ohio and then Alabama and Louisiana. That's why we've got to stop him in his tracks right here in my home city.
A very powerful note to end on, a reminder of what it's all about. Congressman Greg Casar, thank you so much for joining.